Hello everyone, and this is perhaps the first of many videos I might be doing with me playing some Magic the Gathering online. What I have today is a modern deck that I built primarily due to the fact that last year I bought four of these wonderful cards: Noble Hierarch, Knight of the Reliquary, and then also, Hallowed Fountain, my fetch lands, all of that stuff. And that was because at that time, Modern wasn't out yet, and there was talk about Overextended. And I was playing a lot of Overextended, and I built sort of a Blue Zoo deck using a lot of cards that are now not allowed in Modern. I'm a fairly casual player. I like to brew a lot. And as such, my Noble Hierarchs, my Knights, my Shock lands, my fetch lands really haven't been used because I've been playing a lot of Pauper recently. And as of late, I've just been watching a lot of Modern matches and going, you know what? Why don't I play some Modern? I have good cards. I don't see any Bant decks doing well. I feel like that was the colors I'd like to play. But maybe I can do something just for fun. So this is the deck that I am going to try out. I've not played this deck in any matches, so this is going to be completely new, completely fresh. So this is just going to be sort of my introduction to the deck, me explaining the deck, and maybe I'll find things that I'm not happy with. Even in this explanation, we'll change it before we go into the first videos. Well, first games. That's another thing. Because I'm a cheapskate, these games I'm going to start playing off are just going to be in the tournament practice room. So the opponents I'm going to play are probably still going to be better than me, but they're certainly not going to be, they may not be high-level players. Nothing against the people who play there. I play there every now and then. I actually play a lot more in the casual room. But that's what it's going to be. So I guess we'll start with our 1-drops. Even though the curve of this deck is really, really low, which makes me on some level question if I should be playing Noble Hierarchs or not. I mean, it's a really solid card. It's probably the best 1-drop mana producer you could ask for. I think it's the best one that's been printed. So we'll have to see if that is a good call. So I've got 4 of these. Maybe I need less. Maybe I don't even need them in this deck. Maybe it should be a Lone Lion, maybe. Just because this is a very, very low curve deck. Actually, that's a good point. I'm going to bring up my handy-dandy notepad, and we'll take some notes for this. So, Noble Hierarch, maybe Lone Lion. Since Nakatl is currently banned, I think that is probably the best fit at that 1-drop. Maybe there's a better one. So then I've got 2 Spell Snares. The concept of this deck is a Bant Disruption, perhaps somewhere in the style of Collingwood's Haterade deck. So I want some disruption along with some beats. So Spell Snare comes in, just stopping Snapcasters, Cranial Platings, all sorts of things is really, really useful. Now, if 2 is too few, that's something I'm definitely going to be watching for. 3 Path to Exile, along with the Bant Chimes, it's the only removal in the deck. With the Snapcaster Mages, and also you do have control decks and combo decks that really don't use creatures, so I don't want to overload on the creature removal and then just have a lot of dead cards. So those are 1-drops, and then we get into, you can see we almost have as many 2-drops as we have lands. Starting off with Aether-Sworn Canonist, again, just sort of plays into the disruptive nature of the deck. Because the curve is very low, I may have you really just spill a lot of cards out, so maybe playing that as the last card is really nice. Just having a main deck hate that I think is playable against Storm, I think could be really, really good. Then my love of 1-ofs comes in here. I've got a single Echoing Truth, and that's because a deck like this doesn't really have a lot of ways to recover card advantage against something like the mono-white decks that are playing, or the white-black decks that have, Lingering Soul, Spectral Procession, things of that nature. So having just some out against that, I may need to play more depending on how the metagame is, but having that Echoing Truth, and I think it's a completely fine card as is. Sometimes you'll get even a 2-for-1 out. For Mana Leak, I think it's a solid card. I like it more than Remand. Maybe it's just because I've never played with Remand, but I like, this deck wants to finish things fairly quickly, and just being able to say, no, I don't want that spell to ever bother me. That critical kill spell or that big creature, you don't have to try and get it done for the next turn. I mean, because this is a deck that I think wants to win quickly. Next, this is probably the craziest choice I have. It's Trick Bind. Yes, I know it costs 1 more than Stifle. It's really, really bad. You can't, go fetch, have them start their fetch, and stifle them and get them out. But I think there's a lot of activated abilities. You have things like Birthing Pod. I think hitting a Birthing Pod trigger after they've sacked, the Restoration Angel to go get Kiki Jiki could be really, really good. So that's why I'm going to play it. I mean, if you really have to, you can stop them from, potentially flipping a Delver. So we'll see. Quizzali Pride Mage, just again another solid creature, one of the better 2-drops. Being able to blow up Splinter Twin or Birthing Pod or a sword, I think is all very good. Then we have, this is my replacement for Goyf because I'm very cheap. As you can see, only the Dryads, the Scrib Rangers, the Noble Hierarchs, only spells in the deck that don't activate the Quarian Dryad. So they should get pretty big pretty quickly. So hopefully that's a nice budget replacement for this deck for Goyf. Maybe it's better than Goyf. I don't know. Scrib Ranger is a card I wanted to try out because I'm playing, Knight of the Reliquary, but also like Noble Hierarchs, being able to untap that so I can, shoot off Quizzali Pride Mage, or even just unblocking, untapping to block could be really good. 2 Snapcaster Mages. Don't have the most targets, but when you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 12 targets, I mean, it's still a flash dude. I think all the targets are pretty good. We'll see if he's useful or not in this. 2 Bant Charm. I think all of the abilities are really useful in Modern right now, so I think that's really good. 3 casting cost is a lot, so we'll have to see if that's a little bit too clunky, but with how low the curve is, it may work out just fine. We have 2 Aven Mind Sensors, again, sort of playing off that disruptive role, hoping to stop some fetch lands, stop Birthing Pod yet again, because I think Neopod might be the best deck right now, so having a way to stop that. 2-1 Flying Flash is not great, but it should be fine. Then we go to Knights of the Reliquary, just good card, and hopefully that'll allow us to take out a lot of stuff. Now, let me get rid of that. Yes, I do want to save it. Now, the only 4-drop is 2 Sower of Temptation. This is just a pet card of mine. I've never played with it before. And I sort of question, whether there are big enough creatures to steal. I mean, stealing a Delver or something would be very good. But who knows if I can do that. So what I'm looking at is, in terms of that, something like Elspeth might be very good. Also, you could have, let's see, you could also, just a lot of cards in that slot that I can't think of right now that could be very good. So then, the lands we have, full complement of, we've got 8 fetches to help the Knights get big. As our Knight targets, we have a Tectonic Edge, a Horizon, and a Horizon Canopy. I had an Arena in here for a while. Oh, and we have Colonnades and Stirring Wildwoods, just for the mana lands, because I want to fix my mana, and I only have a Hollowed Fountain and a Temple Garden. Picking up a Breeding Pool would be pretty nice for this deck, but at the moment we're gonna live with it as is. So there's not the most Knight targets. Perhaps a Sajiri Step could be really good. I may even add that in before we go to the first match video. But other than that, we've got the 1 Hollowed Fountain, 1 Temple Garden, we've got a Mystic Gate, and the rest are basics. So we can outfetch. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, good. We do have more hopefully we shouldn't run out of targets to fetch in my overextended deck that actually come up a few times. Alright, so now to the sideboard, which is speculative at best. We've got some Daze and an Echoing Truth, kind of as board control. I'm going to Dispel just for matchups against control decks. Meddling Mages, these are probably going to be brought in for combo matchups, but also I could see them being good in something else. You know, they say don't play this unless you have a really good knowledge of the format. I think I have a decent knowledge of the format, but we'll have to see. You know, the Negate for the combo matchup, a Fourth Path for like Jund, Relic for the America colored Snapcaster Delver decks, but also for Storm combo again. Again, more Storm hate. Maybe I'm skewing my sideboard too much towards Storm and not enough towards like the Jund matchup. We'll have to see. And then 4 Spreading Seas for Tron. I think this might be the best that there is in this color combination. We'll have to see. If there's something else, please tell me. Alright, that is a sort of a rundown of the deck. And I'll get into some matches.